On behalf of everyone at Mills James, I'd like to thank the volunteers and staff at St. Stephen's, as well as all of you who help support their mission. The following video is just a glimpse of the importance of the cause and the difference that your contributions are making within our community. So thank you.
I think St. Stephen's Community House is very important to this community. It's an anchor in this community. We've been here over 40 years. So this is a place where people know they can come and receive help or support if they need it, especially during the time of the pandemic. St. Stephen's Community House has really risen to the challenges of COVID-19 by being flexible, adaptable, and strong. I think we already knew in our hearts that our team was strong and adaptable. But since the pandemic, we've been able to demonstrate those characteristics of a really strong and resilient agency. We knew that we had to keep our staff and families safe. And on the other hand, though, we knew that we would never close our doors. We knew that with the quarantining, the stay-at-home orders, the businesses closing, that schools and childcare is closing, that the needs of our families and households here in Linden were only going to grow. The service that's been most impacted by COVID-19 has definitely been our Food and Nutrition Center. If you can imagine, we were a choice walk-in food pantry before the pandemic, serving about 50 households a day, and we transitioned very quickly, in fact, over a weekend, to start serving 700 families a week.
Now that we've opened from all of Franklin County, they come from all over. I've registered people from Far East, like Rendlesburg, Pickerington area, of course Linden, Arlington, Grandview. The biggest thing is just they don't know where they're gonna get their food at, and then they're in need of more than usual due to everybody having to be at home now.
Going from being a full-time employee, getting paid every week, to actually going to work one day and having the job closed down to having nothing has been very traumatic to my family and to others around me as well. When I was told that there is no more work, it felt like, what is the next step? Where am I going to get resources to provide for my family? How am I going to survive? So it's been a blessing to have pantries like yourself that we're able to come to on a weekly basis to have that food put on our table for our family. So it's a blessing.
With our families that are currently living in crisis, some of our families, they're able to maintain and try to think of a positive future. Our families right now are just in survival mode, living day by day. And our goal is at St. Stephen's is not so much as focusing on those long-term goals that we typically work on. We're trying to work on short-term goals. How are you going to feed your family today? How are you going to pay your rent tomorrow? How are you going to provide for your kids' education when you may not have the resources now that it's virtual?
Prior to COVID, we had after-school programs in 3 elementary schools. So once we heard that there might be a shutdown, our original plan was trying to figure out how do we continue to bring services to people. Some of the students that we work with are already behind. During our summer, we provide programming that is really focused on preventing the summer slide. So when our after-school program happens, we're trying to really make sure our students are up to speed, that they're current. We worked with the schools to make sure our students had access to Wi-Fi. We also wanted to make sure they all had Chromebooks. Some of the things that we also did on our end here, we created, virtual videos that we put up on YouTube for the students. But we were very concerned about what our kids were going to do. We also contacted parents, provided all the resources that we had here at St. Stephen's, told them about our pantry. So we were basically trying to maintain contact with parents and students, trying to be that buffer to ensure them, we're all in this together. We don't know what's going to happen, but we want to make sure your kids are okay.
What I love about St. Stephen's is our staff has really just rallied together, and we have individuals that are doing things that are not their typical day-to-day job responsibility. We have individuals who are case managers, but they're coming in every Wednesday to help with the food pantry. We have our child care center that they're gathering here maybe once or twice a week when the center was closed, and they're getting little learning packages together and they're dropping it off to their families' homes. We have our media coordinator that she's doing something completely different. She's working with our families, providing case management, making sure their utilities are still on.
Being able to be that first call for people in need that are in panic and afraid they're going to lose their home, I think it's a privilege to be able to serve our community and be able to give them that support when they don't feel like they have anybody else. Ever since I've been assisting with rent and utility applications, I think I've spoken to upwards of 70 to 80 consumers. But one story that really stuck out to me was a single mother who was a very successful nail tech. She let me know she's never needed assistance before, didn't even really know how to ask for it. Due to COVID-19, her child's daycare had been shut down for 4 weeks, and that's 4 weeks that she was not getting paid. Due to that, she had to make some decisions. Was she going to pay her rent? Was she going to be able to feed her family? Was she going to be able to keep her lights and her gas on? At St. Stephen's, we were able to pay all of her utility bills and take that stress off of her so that she could focus on what was important, and that was keeping her family safe and healthy and being able to go back to work. I think that taking on the responsibility of assisting with emergency services applications has really shown me that even myself, I'm one emergency or one layoff, one unexpected event away from needing assistance, from not being able to keep my lights on, from not being able to pay rent. And seeing so many people with that need has also made me realize how important it is what we do here. And I think there's been so many hardships and hard things about this pandemic, but if there's one positive or one good thing I've come to terms with, it's that at St. Stephen's, there's always someone that you can turn to, always someone that you can rely on. And I think coming in here, doing this work, being with these people is really what's gotten me through it and gotten so many people in our community through it thus far.
During this whole pandemic, it's been a team effort, and not just when I say team within our staff, it's been a team effort between the staff definitely, but then also the families that we serve, the households in Linden residents, our partners, our stakeholders, our funders, the Central Ohio community. We really could not have done any of this and be able to serve the number that we've served and been able to transition to serve in a way that has been most effective for our families without the support of the Central Ohio community. Looking back on it, I'm not sure how we did it, but I think we had a challenge in front of us, and we knew it was an option to fail. We knew we had to get this done.
We know hard times don't last forever, but we also know that out of that bad, something good will happen.